In the last video, I talked about pacing and how matching the pace of safety helps prevent pressure from forming in the first place. This video is about something even more subtle, which is how to recognize when that safety is starting to erode. Not after conflict, not after distance, not after something clearly goes wrong, but in the early moments when the shift first begins. Most people think relationships change because of big events such as arguments, betrayals, breakups, or major disagreements. But safety rarely disappears all at once. It usually fades quietly in small, almost unnoticeable shifts. And those shifts are usually felt in the body before they're ever spoken out loud. You might not have the language for it. You might not be able to say exactly what feels off. Nothing dramatic happens, but something inside you starts to feel slightly different. For example, think about a conversation that used to feel easy. You could talk for hours. Things flowed naturally. There was warmth, curiosity, openness. And then at some point, the same conversation starts to feel a little tighter. Not hostile, not cold, just less relaxed. The responses are a little shorter. The tone is slightly different. The energy feels more careful. Nothing is technically wrong, but something just feels different. That's often one of the first signs that safety is shifting. Another early sign is when effort starts to increase. You might notice yourself explaining more, reassuring more, trying to clarify things more often. And instead of the connection settling, it starts to feel more fragile. Like it needs constant attention just to stay intact. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your nervous system no longer feels as steady as it did before. So it starts trying to stabilize the connection. This often leads to another subtle shift. You start paying closer attention to the other person's reaction. You notice their tone more. You reread messages. You wonder what something meant. Not because you're trying to control them, but because something inside no longer feels fully settled. So your system just starts looking for signals, looking for reassurance, for certainty, looking for signs that things are still okay. You might also notice that moments which used to feel natural start to feel slightly forced. Silences feel heavier. Your jokes don't land the same way. Physical closeness feels a little less relaxed. Again, nothing dramatic, just a subtle loss of ease. And that loss of ease is often the nervous system's first signal that safety is changing. Most people miss these signs because they look so small. I think it's nothing. I'm probably just overthinking. It will sort itself out. And sometimes it does, but many times these small shifts are the beginning of a deeper change in the dynamic. This is also the point where people usually start trying to fix things. They push for clarity. They want to have serious conversations. They try to explain their intentions, and they ask for reassurance. And without realizing it, they add more pressure to a system that already feels less safe. But leadership isn't about fixing the shift, it's about noticing it without adding urgency. Sometimes the most stabilizing thing you can do is simply slow down. That means less explaining, less pushing, more presence, more pacing, more steadiness. When safety starts to erode, the nervous system doesn't need solutions first. It needs less pressure. It needs space to settle. It needs time. It needs consistency. And sometimes that alone is enough to let safety return. Now, recognizing these signs, these early signs, doesn't guarantee the relationship will stabilize. But it gives you a chance to respond with steadiness instead of fear, and with presence instead of pressure. And sometimes that alone can change the entire dynamic. In the next video, I'll talk about why reassurance sometimes creates more anxiety instead of less, and how to tell the difference.